The Stars were starring on Saturday. Byron Buxton, first career cycle. Garrett Crochet, complete game shutout. This is MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into MLB Game Night, where we cover every single game, every single night, as only the Locked On Podcast Network can do it. I'm your host, Lindsey Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves Postcast over on Locked On Sports Atlanta. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. And a handsome fellow over there, Steve Lennox, host of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. Follow him on the X at Lennox on Baseball. Steve, a lot of stuff to get to today. The Astros got themselves a walk-off. The Mariners and the Tigers had a shootout, surprisingly, with their starters kind of getting roughed up. And the Reds walked off the Rockies. Not a team you feel like you usually need to walk off, but they did it. But before we do all that, I want to start off with the Minnesota Twins. They were hosting the Pirates, game 2 of 3. Twins barely won last night, 2-1. Had a little bit more success here. They won 12-4. But what's notable is the work of one all-star, Byron Buxton. Here's Brandon Warren from Locked On Twins with more.
Byron Buxton hit for the cycle on Byron Buxton bobblehead day, and the Twins piled up runs early on bullpen day as they crushed the Pirates 12-4 in the penultimate game of the first half. I'm Brandon Warren, and this is your Locked On Twins postgame minute. The Twins will now have a chance to get back to 500 at the All-Star break if they can secure a sweep after Byron Buxton and company put up 12 runs on 14 hits on Saturday's whopper of a win. Buxton became the first player to hit for the cycle at Target Field, twin or otherwise, and his season weighted runs created plus mark jumped 10 points from 141 to 151, the highest mark for a Twins center fielder in team history. Kirby Puckett in 1988 with 150, so keep an eye on that. Twins pieced things together pitching-wise with Cole Saenz, Travis Adams, Anthony Misevich, and Justin Topa, meaning they'll have their A bullpen available as they go for a sweep. Fun fact, not only did the Twins get a cycle from Buxton in the game, but in the second inning they hit for a team cycle with a Cody Clemens homer, Buxton's triple, Brooks Lee's double, and Ryan Jeffers' single. They plated 6 runs that inning, and the last time the Twins had hit for the cycle in an inning before that was last September 15th against the Reds, where all 4 hits came with 2 outs. Up next, Twins send Simeon Woods Richardson to the mound against Mitch Keller in the final game of the first half. First pitch is at 1:10 p.m. at Target Field. We'll have full coverage of it for you. This is Locked On Twins.
So 2010 is when Target Field opened, and this is their first cycle in the history of the ballpark. Kind of a cool stat, but just fantastic offensive day all around. Twins had 7 extra base hits, 4 home runs. It feels like they're probably going to get the sweep tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates are dreadful again right now in this stretch. They had that short stretch where you're like, okay, they're winning some ball games. You feel good for them. But, I was surprised that was the first in the history of Target Field, as you said, going back to 2010. But we've had some guys on MLB Game Night with you and I, Lindsey, of, hey, what a performance on their bobblehead giveaway.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. Yep.
This is the best. This is the best. So I'm going to write this down. I'm going to remember this one because I have to write things down to remember them sometimes. But going for the rest of the season after the All-Star break, I dare say Byron Buxton's going to have that at the end of the year.
That is a high bar. Can you beat hitting for the cycle on your bobblehead day? Definitely a high mark there. Flip side of this, Pirates, not a great outing here for them. Obviously, not even that close of a game. But Gary from Locked On Pirates has some thoughts about just where they are at this point in the season.
Pittsburgh Pirates scored 4 runs today. So, as Pirates fans, we should be excited because there were, good chance of winning when they score 4 runs this season. It hasn't happened often, but it's resulted in a win a lot when they do. This is Gary from Locked On Pirates, and unfortunately today, Pirates pitching had a rare misstep, gave up 12 runs to Minnesota. It was the Byron Buxton show, my goodness. Listen, the baseball fan in me Loved every second of it. Byron Buxton is one of my favorite players, and when healthy, there are few that can do the things he does. Hit for the cycle today. Dramatic fashion home run with the last swing of the game he was given after he was pulled right after it. Beautiful swing. Just a great game, individual performance from him. Pirates pitching, man, Mike Burrows blew up early, exited early in the second. Andrew Heaney even got into this one pre-All-Star game outing for him. Not a good performance all around. Pirates got to get back on track. No team needs the All-Star break more.
They've lost 8 in a row. They're 20 games below 500. But Andrew Heaney takes 2 innings in relief. This is just that you're right there before the All-Star break. He's not going to start until next weekend. Why not go ahead and let him get a live bullpen in?
Yeah, just had difficulty keeping the ball in the yard, giving up 3 home runs in his outing. But again, 20 games under 500. I love what Gary said about Buxton there, one of his favorite players. And, you always have to put it in quotations, the air quotes of
when he's healthy.
Just stay healthy. When he's healthy, what he can produce. So we'll see. He's still young. I mean, again, what he's capable of doing, and just transitioning here in a moment, you just never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. And that was, as Gary said, fun to watch.
And also, I think what's big is Buxton's not going anywhere. When he signed that extension, he asked for the no trade, and he has publicly stated multiple times they love it there. They don't want to go anywhere. So expect him to stick around for a little while. A team that is tired of sticking around Boston, the Tampa Bay Rays, got lost 1-0 to your Boston Red Sox. But the story here was Garrett Crochet getting the Maddux. 100 pitches in his 9-inning, 3-hit shutout win. First complete game, first shutout of his career, but not the first complete game for the Sox this week, right?
Yeah, Brian Bayo had one earlier this week on Tuesday against the Rockies and actually took a shutout bid to the 9th inning, but lost it when he gave up a home run, but Alex Cora let him finish it out.
Yeah, it's just these teams are going in different directions, right? The Rays, 4-11 over the last 15. They've lost 5 straight series. And it's just something where, like, if they score a ton of runs, they win. And if they don't score, they lose. Like, that's to it. They're pitching. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a 1-0 game or a 15-10 game. Like, they have 2 wins. They scored 26 runs in those 2 wins over the Red Sox. And their 5 losses, a total of 15. It's just, I don't really get it. Do you think your Sox get the sweep tomorrow with Bayo back on the mound against Ryan Pepio?
Pepio's going to have to go out there and give him a terrific performance. Shane Baz did not deserve to lose.
Yeah, Shane Baz gave him a great performance. Game. 1 run.
Yeah,
and
he really did.
Took a loss.
But their bullpen, I mean, Fairbanks gives up his first home run of the season, the 2-run home run, the walk-off home run by Rafaela on Friday. They lose 1-0 in this game. They had Hassan Kim. I don't know if you saw it, safety squeeze. Abraham Toro got walls at the plate. The call was confirmed on replay. I think that was in the 6th inning. And then Crochet, 1-2-3 in the 7th, 1-2-3 in the 8th, the same in the 9th inning. You mentioned the 100 pitches. He threw 7 pitches in that 9th inning to get to 100. That's the magic. That's our magic number.
Barely got it. But
I do feel, I feel right now the Red Sox own a lot of real estate between the ears of the Rays right now. And, we talk about the Pirates, the Rays are a team in contention. They're now 4 over 500, but you mentioned just 4 wins in their last 15. They need a break. And a lot of it is their bullpen.
Yeah. They got to get those relief arms a little bit of a rest there. And thankfully they'll have a couple of days coming up. And I don't believe any of the relievers are going to the All-Star game, so they'll be fine. 2 teams that have a couple players going to the All-Star game, Cubs at Yankees. This was something where the Yankees had won game 1, the Cody Bellinger revenge game. We're a believer in bobblehead day games and revenge games here on Locked On MLB Game Night. But this was a 5-2 win for Chicago to even the series. Here's our buddy Sam Ober from Locked On Cubs with more on the victory.
The Chicago Cubs finally had success against a left-handed starting pitcher, and a really good one in Max Fried. I'm Sam Olver from the Locked On Cubs podcast. Cubs defeat the Yankees in Game 2 of this series, 5-2. They were able to score 4 runs in 4 innings against Max Fried. It was the first time in a long time the Cubs had real success against the left-handed starters. We've talked about it a lot on our show, but that wasn't even the story. It's the same story every fifth day when Matthew Boyd takes the mound for the Cubs. What a job. 8 shutout innings for Boyd, lowering his ERA to 2.34. Pete Crow Armstrong, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, Kyle Tucker, all instrumental to the Cubs' success in the first half. I'm not sure if any of them have been that much more important than Matthew Boyd. What a job that he's done. Probably if the season ended today would be a top 5 Cy Young guy in the National League. And the Cubs have a really good opportunity to finish the first half strong, salvage this road trip with a series win in New York with Imanaga on the mound Sunday against Will Warren. Will be a big baseball game. Looking forward to it.
That's a fun matchup. The thing here, we talked about Shane Baz having a bad luck loss. I kind of feel bad for Matthew Boyd that he goes 8 innings and he can't get best performance of the day because Garrett Crochet threw a Maddux. Like 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts on 85 pitches. Like, why not just send him back out for the 9th on 85 pitches?
Yeah, and the bullpen loses the shutout bid as Aaron Judge hits the home run. But I'm glad Sam right there spent a lot of time on Boyd. You know, he was signed as a free agent back in December of 2024, 2 years with an option for the Cubs. And, you know, you think nobody thought this.
Yeah.
Right?
He's
All-star,
making $10
10
million
wins
this year. Yeah, nobody thought this.
Let's go back to the negotiating table during the offseason here, or let's pick up that option and make it a 3-year deal somehow, some way. But Sam, mentioned Max Fried did leave the game. That was a blister issue that he was dealing with. So maybe not at his best. And I wonder if that kind of continues after the All-Star break with him, because that could be a couple of weeks before you get that under control with a blister on your throwing hand.
As a Braves fan, I've seen Max Fried deal with blisters quite a bit. At least he's familiar with what to do. Right.
Great
like
point.
he's had so many of them now. He's kind of got the protocol down, not the protocol to stop them from happening, but the protocol to kind of get over them and get back in the game. And
is pickle brine still in that equation for pitchers? And
I think they've used a little bit more science since then and moved on from pickle brine. But he has a whole thing that he does. But it was interesting. He was like, specifically the body language in the postgame media availability, not letting the media see his hands. Like he had his right hand over his left and he had his hands behind his back. I just find that little bit of gamesmanship there interesting. All right. My Braves, speaking of the Braves at Cardinals. Atlanta clinches the series here, 7-6 win. This is their first series win since they swept the Mets last month. And for a team that's been so awful at one-run games, they've won 2 one-run games to start this series, and both of them end up being bullpen games. Ronald Acuna Jr. hits a solo shot in the first inning, not leading off. That was his first career at-bat from the number 3 hole. He's now hit from every single spot in the order. Number 1's obviously the leadoff, still the most frequent, but he hit third. Marcell Ozuna homered. Sean Murphy hit a 3-run homer in the 8th to go up by a run. Ended up being kind of the margin there. Cardinals tied it up, but Jurickson Profar, the Braves manufactured a run in the 9th. Sack, bunt, all of that kind of stuff to manufacture a run. Jurickson Profar got it. And it just ended up being, I think it was a bullpen game. They started Aaron Bummer for 2. Joey Wentz, who they just acquired, they threw him for 3. He was fantastic. He actually was 1 strikeout shy of the record for a Braves reliever in his debut. And he did it in only 3 innings. Everybody above him did it in either 4 or 5. So shout out there. And Atlanta's going for the sweep tomorrow. We have no idea who's starting. It's pointing like it's going to be another bullpen game. We legitimately have no idea who it's going to be. All of the Braves beat is in Atlanta for the All-Star festivities. So none of them are even in St. Louis with the team. Gonna see what happened there. I need to apologize to you, Steve. I hyped this matchup up a lot. Mariners at Tigers, because I was thrilled about Casey Mize and Logan Gilbert.
Yep. Thought about you a couple times during the day.
They did not live up to the billing. This was a 15-7 win by Seattle. What happened here? Like, is this just we're all focused on the All-Star break? What happened to these great starters?
I think it could be. And it's sort of 2 days in a row because we were complimenting a lot of bullpens for long, we'll get on the Padres later for a second straight game against the Phillies, but this break could not.
People got whacked yesterday.
Yeah. This Mize on Saturday. This break could not come fast enough and soon enough for a lot of pitchers out there right now that are just weary. And Mize, 3 innings, 6 earned runs. George Kirby, and I didn't look at his complete, started on the IL for the season, but he's kind of got to get going here. I mean, there's a lot more in the tank, and there's a lot of expectations from Seattle Mariner fans.
Mhm.
I remember Kirby from the offseason, like, Tristan Casas is going to be traded from the Red Sox to the Mariners for one of their starting pitchers because they have pitching depth. Well, that doesn't exist. And it was Castillo and Kirby. I'm like, Kirby, really? Do it tomorrow, today, right now. But again, takes a loss, 4-4. So he's had his outings, but he's got to get on track here. He's got to pitch to his capability.
Yeah. 2 notes I have on the Seattle offense. The first one, Randy Arozarena, 3 hits, a home run, 4 runs scored. His last 15 games, he's batting .305 with an OPS over 1,000 and 8 home runs. So he has absolutely rebounded from the terrible start. He's brought his season average up to 249. And the other one is Cal Raleigh can actually get out. He went 0 for 4. So he's got to hit 2 homers tomorrow if he wants to pass Barry Bonds.
You got to give him the day off tomorrow.
No, you got to put him in there to get 2 home. Just tell him to swing for the fences. We don't care if we win or lose. We've already won the series. Just get the 2 home runs to get the record. That's what we need. All right. In just a second, I want to talk about the Reds walking off the Rockies. We'll do that next, right here on MLB Game Night. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. Because if you're already following in on the action, why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, either the ones that I have a good feeling about, the 2 aces squaring off in that game. The app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. So if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, Steve. Rockies were in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. This was a 4-3 walk-off victory by Cincinnati. Here is Jeff Carr, host of Locked On Reds, about what happened in this one.
A win is a win, and it's better than a loss, which is what the Reds did on Friday night. But, hey, they got the win on Saturday night, beating the Rockies 4-3. What's up? This is Jeff Carr from the Locked On Reds podcast. And, yes, a clutch triple from Will Benson in the bottom of the 9th inning really led the Reds to get the win after a infield. It was an error, misplayed by the second baseman, ground ball by Noel V. Marte that scores Benson to win the game. But really, for me, this was about clutch pitching because the lineup just once again was completely inept. We're talking about a guy on the mound for the Rockies that had an ERA of over 12, and the Reds only scored 1 against him. It was not a good day for them, but it was a great day for the pitching. Brady Singer pitched amazingly. There was a inning where he gave up a leadoff triple and then struck out the side. And then you had a nice performance from Graham Ashcraft, Emilio Pagan pitching out of a jam. Lots of clutch pitching for the Reds led to this comeback. Now, please just win the series on Sunday.
All of that's great, but what I want to talk about is Tito. Terry Francona is 1 win away from 2,000 wins. Steve, $5 if you can tell me how many managers in baseball history have 2,000 wins. You don't have to name them all. Just tell me how many.
Bruce Bochy was new, recent, right? With the Rangers earlier this year?
Not earlier this year. He's at 2218, but he was
okay. So he got 2,200.
He got
2,200 earlier this year. Is it 5, 4 or 5?
12. Terry Francona would be the 13th to do it in the history of baseball.
Okay.
And if I'm reading this right, it looks like he would have like a top 6 or 7 winning percentage for that too. Connie Mack actually had a losing winning percentage as a manager. He lost more than he won, but he's still leading in wins. Anyway, so I feel good about that tomorrow because it is Colorado. This is Austin Gomber matching up against Nick Martinez. Feels like he's going to get that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Dan Shaughnessy's not one of my favorite Boston writers, but Shaughnessy and Terry Francona did the book together. Shaughnessy did a terrific job with it.
It was a
So
good
that's
book.
one
I
of
read
those.
that too.
It's fantastic, right? It was. I mean, Terry Francona just put himself out there as he does. I mean, he just, ever see the interactions with him and Don Orsillo, who was a longtime Red Sox announcer, now with the Padres? I mean,
a little bit of it, yeah.
Francona, I mean, just that's who he is. He's so comfortable in his own skin. And reading that book, it was like it wasn't always that way. I mean, he was a fantastic young prospect coming up, had injuries. Still dealing with those stuff as a player in pro ball. So to see this, I think it's great. And down the road, looking forward to Cooperstown and his speech.
That'll be fun. That's going to be a fun one. You mentioned being comfortable in his own skin there. The Guardians are pretty comfortable in Guaranteed Rate Field, where the White Sox, I think it's called Guaranteed Rate Field now, where the White Sox play. They won this 6-2. They are now 5-1 versus the White Sox this season. Here's Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians about what went right for Cleveland in the win.
Guardians' 4-game winning streak came to an end in the second half of the doubleheader on Friday night. And on Saturday, they made sure that it didn't turn into a streak again like they had before.
I got the wrong video.
Latta of Locked On Guardians, and Tanner Bybee came out, pitched a really good game, had one rough inning where he had a lot of singles he gave up, and this is something he had against Houston the last time where he was clean through 4 innings, had a no-hitter through 5 innings, came into the 5th inning, gave a couple home runs, the game was tied. In this game, after that rough inning, he came back. He threw over 30 pitches in that inning, came back this time, shut that inning down, got into the 6th inning. So he made those adjustments. He was able to get back on track after an inning where he had a lot of traffic going on, and the Guardians really needed length in this game because they played a doubleheader on Friday, and the bullpen was a little bit taxed from that. So he got you into the 6th inning. They had Cade Smith available. They had their big guys available. They didn't need them all. They didn't need Emmanuel Clase because the offense came through. They were up 2-0 early, and then the White Sox struck back because the Guardians keep giving up runs after they get a lead. But the offense came back late. Jose Ramirez had 3 steals, continues to play fantastic baseball despite the fact he wants to rest over the All-Star break instead of play during the All-Star break. And Tanner Bybee was introducing a new pitch. These guys continue to evolve. They continue to be a work in progress. They continue to make changes when things aren't going well. Hitting and pitching are cat and mouse game. You got to keep making adjustments. That's what Tanner Bybee's doing. That's what you need from an ace. The Guardians have a chance to win this series on Sunday before the break, and then the draft kicks off Sunday night. Jeff and I will be live on YouTube from 6 p.m. all the way into night 1. Make sure you tune in.
That's a long show.
That really is. I actually did that show 2 years ago for Locked On. I hosted that with Jeff Ellis. Okay. Jose Ramirez stole 3 bases in this game. He's at 29 on the year. He was 1 homer away from a 40-40 season last year. 41 steals, 39 home runs. Right now he has 18 homers and 29 steals. Does it feel like the power surge is coming to get to 40-40, or is he going to set a career high in steals and not hit 40 home runs? He's had 2 seasons that ended at 39.
I could see, yes, I agree, that power surge in thinking about that. I mean, he's one of my favorite players. On the one side, I'd love to see him, in a big market. But on the other side, he's great for baseball because he plays for Cleveland. You mentioned Buxton earlier, wants to be in Minnesota. Jose Ramirez has a love affair with Cleveland. I love it. I commend it. Yeah. It's terrific. I mean, but this guy, the number, most
underrated player in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. And so, I mean, defensively, everything. And the stolen bases, as you mentioned from last year, just happened to have a day of the week during the offseason. I was looking up his baseball reference page. I'm like, wow, he's 1 home run away from the 44. And then you're looking at the stolen bases over his career. It's like, holy cow,
he's
that's another dimension of his game. He's going to have 300 career steals. I mean, this is what I'll say. Somehow, some way, get him to a World Series.
Yeah. I don't know what the record is for a third baseman, but I can't imagine there's many third basemen that broke 300 steals in their career. That just doesn't feel like a stolen base position. Right. Dude's 32 and he's got 29 steals already.
He's not slowing down.
Nope. All right. Phillies at Padres. Padres won this one 5-4. They've won the first 2 games of the series. We've got Connor Thomas from Locked On Phillies. I want to hear if he is hitting the panic meter just yet.
Another tough one tonight for the Phillies out west in San Diego. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. And Zach Wheeler was not at his best. You've seen two really good pitchers not be at their best so far with Ranger and Zach. And the offense created more tonight at least, but just big spots did not come through as much as they needed to. I don't even know, man. Just like this offense is not creating enough. And if the starting pitching goes, this is my biggest worry with the Phillies right now. Without the starting pitching, it's very apparent that they don't have too much else to win ball games consistently. And that's a problem. And maybe that'll get addressed at the deadline. Maybe it won't. But that's all on Dave Dombrowski now with about however many days till July 31st and the All-Star break 1 game away. You got to start looking at reinforcements because this team certainly has deficiencies and they could use some help as we get deeper into the season. We'll see if they get it. We'll talk on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
Maybe it's coming tomorrow. Christopher Sanchez, who should be an all-star and is not, but is getting the bonus from the Phillies. They're giving him that bonus anyway, versus Nick Pivetta in the finale. Do you think Philly gets swept or no?
Well, that's a good pitching matchup for a final game before the all-star break. I'm going to say sweep San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like right now. They're going to limp into the all-star break. The Phillies are. That's kind of where I'm feeling too on this. Okay, 2 games. We got like 2 minutes left in this segment real quick. I'll take Dodgers at Giants. Dodgers finally put it into the losing streak. They win 2-1 in San Francisco. Shohei Ohtani goes 3 innings this time. 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. On the flip side, Landon Rupp countering him. 6 innings, 2 runs, only 1 earned. Another bad luck loss. He's now 6-6. Michael Conforto had 3 hits in this one to bring his batting average up to 185. It's really just the Giants couldn't get anything going. 3 singles, that's all that they did. Tanner Scott had his 19th save in this one. So we'll see who wins the series on Sunday. Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Robbie Ray.
Well, we just touched on, Lindsay, the Phillies losing to the San Diego Padres. With that, the Mets win in Kansas City. They're half game ahead of Philadelphia in the NL East. Mets clinched the series with a 3-1 victory Saturday against the Royals in Kansas City. Juan Soto made it 2-0 with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. Soto now 23 home runs. Jeff McNeil RBI single in the 9th to make it 3-1. Interesting here, Frankie Montas 5 scoreless for the win, his second. But Edwin Diaz worked 2 scoreless innings, picks up the save. 19th on the year. Mets now 13 over 500. Like I said, a half game up on the Phillies in that NL East.
Assuming he's going to be down tomorrow, and then he'll have some time off during the All-Star break. All right, in just a second, I want to talk about the Texas series, Rangers versus Astros. Today's was wild. We'll do that next, right here on MLB Game Night. Okay, 2 teams that absolutely love each other. Houston Astros, Texas Rangers. Astros got the walk-off in 11 innings, 5-4. Here's Brett, H-Town Wheelhouse, from Locked On Astros with his thoughts on the victory.
It was a masterful game tonight by Framber Valdez, but they needed extra innings to get it done. Hello, I'm H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros. And the Astros defeat the Rangers in an extra innings, all-out AL West battle. It was a surefire, just one of those games where 2 teams that have hefty competition between each other just simply come to the ballpark and they ball out. Jacob deGrom, Framber Valdez looked excellent on the mound, but Framber had the better stuff. Jacob had a few mistakes. The Rangers crawled back into a situation where they tied it, and Josh Hader gave up his 3rd home run in his last 4 outings, his first blown save of the year. And then Adolis Garcia looked to break the hearts of the Houston Astros crowd. You could hear the Rangers fans get going, but in the end, it was Zach Short and Christian Walker who helped the Astros walk it off. Christian Walker got the tie. Zach Short scored the run difference where the Astros defeat the Rangers 5-4. Stay tuned into Locked On Astros. We're your team every day. Go Stros.
Another bad luck loss for Jacob deGrom. 2 earned runs over 6 innings. But the thing that gets me, and great note by you here in the rundown, no walks, 19 strikeouts by Astros pitching. You cannot ask for more than a quality start with no earned runs from your starter and then no walks in 11 innings from your entire pitching staff.
Yeah, and Christian Walker had the sac fly and the run batted in the extra innings there. That tied the game at 4. He was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts in the game for the Astros. Came through and ended up scoring. Zach Short had the game-winning base hit. That broke an 0 for 11 for him at the plate as well. So Astros got the 2 in the bottom of the inning and walk off and also avoid a 5th straight loss.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of deflating stuff for them there. The finale tomorrow is Nathan Eovaldi versus Hunter Brown. Another really fun matchup.
Love it.
All right, we've got like 2.5, 3 minutes. We've got 4 games. Marlins at Orioles. Marlins win this 6-0. Jansen Junk, 7 scoreless innings, 5 hits, no walks. Again, 85 pitches. They pull them a little bit early, but all the runs are late. 1 run in the 7th by the Marlins, 1 in the 8th. 4 in the 9th to blow it open. Trevor Rogers took the loss. He goes 6 1/3 with only 1 run, but ultimately Orioles just can't do anything on offense. 10th shutout of the year, 19th blowout loss.
Brewers, 3 in the 9th inning, Lindsay. 6 win in a row. They beat the Nationals at home 6-5. Andrew Vaughn, 2-run double in the 4th inning. That put the Brewers up 4-3. Vaughn, 2-run double that tied the game at 5. And then Caleb Durbin, game-winning single. Brewers with the win now, season high 15 over 500. Their 20th comeback win on the year.
I love to see Brandon Woodruff being back, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Diamondbacks at Angels. Angels won the series here, 10-5 win on Saturday. They'll go for the sweep on Sunday. It's Merrill Kelly versus Jose Soriano. We'll see what happens. But Mike Trout, homer, 4 RBI. He had a 2-run homer in the 5th, a 2-run single in the 8th. He's at 17 homers now, 395 for his career. Kind of thought he'd be farther along, but all those injuries took a toll there. Flip side of this, Zach Gallen, 6 earned in 5 innings, gave up the home run to Trout, just continues kind of getting blasted here. But Eugenio Suarez, 2 more home runs to have 31 on the season. Doesn't matter. His team is 5 under back, and just they're going the wrong way. Diamondbacks are.
We'll wrap it up. Blue Jays and Athletics in West Sacramento. Athletics tied the series up at a game apiece. Hold on for a 4-3 victory. Mason Miller in the 9th inning walked the leadoff hitter, a sac bunt, tying run at second base. He struck out Ernie Clement looking on a 3-2 pitch. Then he struck out George Springer looking to end the game. Miller 18th save. Brent Rooker, RBI double in the 3rd. That tied the game at 2. Rooker then a 2-run home run. That in the 5th inning put the A's in front 4-2, his 20th on the year.
Real quick before we get out of here, we have a question in the chat. Would you rather have for your team Ceddanne Rafaela or Julio Rodriguez? This feels like it should be Rodriguez, but give me 10 seconds on why it's Rafaela.
Ceddanne Rafaela. Defensively, and I'm a huge Julio Rodriguez fan, and I've gone back and forth with some Seattle people recently. He's not lived up to his hype. You want to talk about George Kirby? Get on track. Julio Rodriguez, there's so much more in the tank there. Ceddanne Rafaela defensively, watching him every day in center field. Right now, I take Ceddanne Rafaela. And they both are locked up long-term, I believe, and Rafaela's contract is a lot better.
A lot cheaper than
more
Julio's.
Team-friendly. Team-friendly, we'll call it.
There you go. This has been MLB Game Night for Saturday the 12th. We are back tomorrow. Remember, MLB Game Night, every single game, every single night, as only the Locked On Podcast Network can do it. Make sure you have notifications turned on for the YouTube channel. It's going to be at a different time tomorrow because the games end a little bit earlier in the day. For Steve Lennox, I'm Lindsey Crosby. This has been MLB Game Night.